Okay, hopefully you can all see my screen there. Let's start here. So I got this question quite a bit from a few of my clients when I sent out the invite to this webinar, and you may have had this question as well. I got the question of, Chris, aren't you already doing this stuff for me? Aren't you already working on my Google Plus ranking? And the answer is absolutely we are. We definitely are doing that for you, and that is definitely part of the services that Imprezzio is providing for you. However, we can do about 90% of the work needed to be done. There's a small 10% that we do need assistance from our clients on, and we do try to send out emails to our clients on a regular basis when we notice these certain things are missing, or we don't have a picture or something like that that we need for the listing. But we felt this would be a good opportunity for us to share some of the ways that some of that 10% that we ask our clients to do for us to help us with the ranking. And this way, if you see something in this presentation that we're missing or that we're not doing, we do encourage you to get in contact with your customer service rep or with your sales rep, whoever it is that you work with here in the company. If you're not entirely sure of who you work with, you can simply email us at support@imprezziomarketing.com, and we'll definitely be able to help you out. But just so you know, these aren't going to this isn't stuff that necessarily that we're not doing for you already. We're definitely working on your map listings for you, but these are just areas that you can help us with this. So we'll go ahead here. Now I'm going to be switching between the PowerPoint presentation as well as the web browser. So if you see that on the screen there, that's what I'm doing. I'll be switching between the two a couple times here. So the first part is we have two top contributors. Our Google Places, it's now known as Google My Business top contributors. We have two. And as you can see there, two are better than one. We are the only North American company that has two top contributors. Now, for those of you who don't know of these two top contributors, I'll introduce them to you now. We have our SEO director, Joy Hawkins. Joy Hawkins has been a top contributor for many years now. And Colin Nielsen, our newest top contributor, there we go, he is our SEO manager. So we have our director and our manager of our SEO departments are top contributors with Google. Now you may be wondering, what the heck is a top contributor? So as Google states on their website, Google top contributors are Google users who volunteer their time to help others with questions and troubleshooting issues. You may have even met a few of them on the Google and Your Business forum. We wanted to introduce you to these Places top contributors and tell you a bit more about them. Now that's actually on their website, so right away I'm going to jump over to that. So if you want to get to this page, the easiest way is to go to Google and search the term Google Top Contributors. Now you'll see that first one looks like the one you want to click on, but what you really want to click on is the second one that says Meet Our Top Contributors. You'll be brought to this page here. You just have to click one more time on Meet Our Top Contributors. So this will bring you to the page. You'll see Joy there, and Colin, being the newest one, is down at the bottom there. So these are people, these 9 people are people in North America who go on the Google message board and assist businesses with questions they may have in regards to ranking locally on Google. It takes many years to get this distinction. It takes a lot of time, as well as Google watching to see your answers and make sure your answers are correct. The great thing about working with a company who is these top contributors is you actually get the experience of all 9 top contributors. These guys are always in contact with each other. They're always doing meetings with each other, messages with each other. They're always discussing new tactics and new ranking factors as they come along. So that is one of the main reasons why we consider ourselves to be one of the best in local ranking, is quite simply as things move along and as things change and as Google evolves, they're not necessarily very descriptive on the way they're going to evolve. So these top contributors are always troubleshooting with each other to make sure they're up to date on the different forms of SEO tactics that can go into these. So we're going to start up with, we're doing the top 10 list here. I'll try not to keep everybody too long. I do have a tendency to talk a bit much. So the first bit here is we ask that you use high quality photos of your office and staff in your listing. You'll see there, that's a picture of two of our employees, Ruthie and Kim, at an event. This is on our Google Plus listing. And the reason why you want to use high quality photos as opposed to a standard photo from State Farm or Allstate or a standard logo is Google has become much better recently in being able to read images. Not so much exactly the content in the images, but being able to read what the images are. So if we have an image of a State Farm logo, it's not going to be as effective for the listing as, say, a picture of your office. As well, if you're putting pictures of your staff in your office in, for the customer as well, it adds that bit of a human touch. So we do ask that if you don't have any personal photos of either your staff in your listing or the outside of your office in your listing, we do ask that you send those over to us. In fact, Google has a great place for a cover photo. This cover photo is actually a great way to show off any fancy signage you may have paid for in your office or show the front door of your office. This allows for people to not only recognize where you might be, but again, it adds that human touch and that local touch, that they realize that you are a local business in their area. Number 2, utilize the Google review feature. So, as many of you know, you actually can get reviews on your Google Plus listing. The problem is many business owners don't actually pay attention to this until they get a negative review. Now, we have evidence that suggests that Google actually prefers to rank businesses with lots of reviews. The other great part is once you have at least 5 reviews, Google will display your average star rating when your map is presented on the page. Now, I'll give you a quick example of that if I flip over to our page here. When somebody Googles Imprezzio Marketing, right away they see our 5-star reviews. They can click here. We have 29 reviews from our clients. You may have written us a review yourself. Thank you for that. We always welcome more. But these are reviews from actual clients of ours that have taken the time to do that. The nice part is, as you can see here right on the screen, anybody who comes on and searches for Imprezzio Marketing is going to see that 5-star review right beside the name. So once you have 5, it averages out your rating and will show that 5-star review. And don't be afraid if you actually have a bad review on there, because we can help you with that with this review handout. We can send you a review handout. We actually have 3. We have one for a desktop computer, we have one for people using the Google app, and we have one for people to do it on their mobile phone from a mobile web browser. These are simple instructions, takes no more than 3 minutes. It shows someone who may have no knowledge of the internet at all how to log on, how to find your business listing, how to pull it up, and how to write the review. So we make it very easy for you with this. We can send you over these. If you haven't received these, please let us know. We'll get them over to you definitely. But the nice part is you can do a few things with these. We send it to you in a PDF document. So if you have some clients that are internet savvy people, you know they're always checking their email, they converse with you over email. You can shoot them over an email with the review and say, hey, we're looking for some reviews from our current clients. If you wouldn't mind to take a few minutes and write us a review, we'd really appreciate it. Now, the one thing I will warn you about is never, ever, ever write a fake review. Ever. Don't ever review yourself. Don't ever have your wife or husband or son or daughter go on and write a review for you, because Google has a review checker. Now, they have a few parameters set in that if this goes off, they actually send a live human to go look, read your reviews, and determine whether or not they're genuine. So, we don't want anybody to write we don't want to necessarily call them fake reviews, because I'm sure your family and friends can write absolutely true reviews, but we want them to be reviews from your actual customers. Now, if you have a friend of yours that is an actual customer, by all means, if they'd like to go on and write a review for you, that's 100% genuine. Just make sure you're not having your staff do it or your close personal family do the reviews. As well, we want to make sure that you don't have reviews done in your office. So if we've had a few clients who got a great idea a couple years ago, set up an iPad and have their clients come in and write reviews. And it was great. They got lots of reviews, but it pinged their Google review checker. The Google review checker logged in, had a look at it, and realized that they were all coming from the same IP address. Google can see that. They can see which IP address that you're writing from. So when they noticed they were all from the one IP address, they took them down. So it doesn't necessarily hurt your ranking, although we have seen some evidence to suggest that it does cause a strike against you. But we recommend that you keep it genuine and make sure their client actually writing the reviews. We found evidence to suggest that you don't want to exceed more than 5 in 1 month. If you receive 5 in 1 month, that's a parameter where the Google review checker will kick in and they'll come and have a look at it. So what I usually suggest to my clients, when you're sending this out to clients, send it out to 10 a month. Out of those 10, you'd be lucky if you get 2 to actually go on and write the review. It doesn't happen very often, but do it in small spurts. Send it out to 3 first. Wait and see if those 3 do it. If you're confident those 3 will do it, wait before you send it out to 7 more. But usually if you send it out to 10 and you get 2 per month, you're in good shape. You can also print off these review handouts so that when somebody's in your office, you can simply hand it to them and ask them when they go home to write your review. And we can provide these for you as well. If you don't have anything that I'm speaking about here, please feel free to email your customer service rep or your sales rep and let us know that you don't have this or that maybe you've misplaced it since the last time we sent it to you, and we'll send it to you. Okay, so number 3 is respond to your reviews, especially your bad ones. Now you'll see here this is a screenshot from the Imprezzio Marketing page, and I've circled here our responses. We respond to all our reviews. So you definitely want to thank people for writing reviews, but more importantly as well, the bad ones, you want to address their concern. Now, this is done more for a perceptional point of view. When new clients are looking at you and maybe researching you to find out if you're the person they want to go with, this shows an attention to detail. So first of all, you can thank the good ones. Thank you for your review. Thank you for your continued business. But the bad ones as well, address them. You know, even if that customer is lying about the experience they received from you, at this point, it doesn't matter. What you need to do is address it. So it will show future consumers that you're willing to attempt to resolve the issue of this unhappy client. One main point we ask is if you do require some help with responding to negative reviews, we do have quite a bit of experience with that. We can help you with that. But we want to make sure that you don't call out the liar. If you think they're lying, do not call them out on it. Do not accuse them of lying. Take ownership of the error and always offer a solution. And if you're able to get that solution and being able to handle it and the customer is satisfied with that, you can then ask them to delete that review, because you can delete any review that you write on Google. So it may be a matter of they wanted your attention. They got your attention, you've resolved the issue, and then maybe you can have them delete that bad review so your ranking isn't affected through that, or well, your star rating, sorry. Okay? So go on here to the 4th point. And again, if you have any questions, we'll cover them at the end. I'll be happy to answer any questions for you. So strong SEO is always a good foundation for strong local SEO. So as you know, or as you may not be aware, the term used in this industry when we're working on your Google listing to get it ranking on the first page is known as local SEO. If you have a strong SEO background, that local SEO is going to become increasingly easier. Now, I have an example here of a long-term client of ours who's been nice enough to allow us to show his website. He is in our handout as well about updating your microsite. But you'll see here, State Farm agents, I'm using a State Farm reference here, but for the Allstate or Farmers agents, you do have the ability to add something like this on your website as well. And again, we do have handouts to help you through that. But you'll see here, what Brian has done is in this little write-up he's done for Caroline here, he's mentioned a few things. First of all, he's mentioned auto insurance and he's mentioned home insurance. He's also mentioned Flushing, New York. Now what this is doing, these aren't necessarily going to be read by customers. Most customers aren't going to find their way to this tab on the page. But what it is going to do is allow for you to add more keywords to your website. So you definitely want to be creative with this, because you don't want to get into what's known as keyword stuffing where you're unnatural with it. But if you put something like this, if you're writing for, say, myself, Chris is a local resident of, let's say, Sherwood Park area. Call today for a quote on auto insurance, home insurance, or life insurance. So you've mentioned that I'm a resident of your area if you're in Sherwood Park, and you've mentioned the keywords of auto insurance, home insurance, and life insurance. But you've done it in a very natural and creative way. So you don't want to go in there and just write auto insurance, life insurance, home insurance, car insurance, all these different keywords. That's not the way to do it, because if Google does see that, they do have these bots that crawl your website, and if they find that you're keyword stuffing, your ranking will be affected. Google's not going to notify you of this. They're just going to affect your ranking. So if you need help with that as well, we do offer help on how to write those up. Again, we have handouts for each of our companies in our insurance industry to do those updates. Now, if you're one of our clients who is not in the insurance industry and you have your own website, of course that does come with a little bit more in terms of updating it, but we'd be more than happy to help you with that with some suggestions on the type of text you can add. But it's very important you want to add some of the keywords, the city that you're in, but do it in a natural way. Number 5, never alter your listing without consulting with us first. Now with this one here, if you don't like something we've put on your listing and you'd like us to add something or change it, we're absolutely going to do it for you. That's never a problem. But we'd like you to ask us first, if you have your logins, before going in and changing it yourself. Because we are managing this listing, we want to be able to add information for you, but we want to be able to do that with local SEO tactics in mind. So although you may think it's a minor change, it might actually be a little more than minor in terms of local SEO. So any changes you want on there, you can always email us, ask us to make these changes, and we'll make those changes for you while keeping SEO in mind. Or if you want to add something, let us know. We'll always add it for you, but keeping those SEO tactics in mind. Now number 6, never ever keyword stuff in your business name or description. Now for you clients that we're managing your map listing here, you're never going to have to worry about that. We're never going to do that for you, but are on you. But Google has been known to give ranking penalties for overly optimized business descriptions or names. To give you an idea for Imprezzio Marketing, if we put Imprezzio Marketing Online SEO Company, we put our business name as Imprezzio Marketing Online SEO Company, the tactic involved in that is to come up for people looking for online SEO company, but that will actually create a strike. And if you have a strike against your listing, it will never rank for your category. So you want to make sure, we're never going to do that on you, but that goes back to point number 5, never change things like that. As well, when we're writing your business description, we want to make sure not to repeat keywords within your business description. You can mention a couple of them, but if we're repeating them constantly throughout your business description, at that point, that's known as keyword stuffing. And again, as I mentioned earlier, that's a big no-no with Google. So we don't want to keyword stuff. Next slide, only one cook in the kitchen. So this is in regards to us. Now, obviously, if we're doing your local SEO for you and your paid ads on Google, you don't need to hire a separate company to do it. However, if you are going to hire a separate company to do it and you've spoke with us, the best course of action is to have us not work on your listing, or if you would like us both to work on your listing for whatever reason, make sure we're able to be in contact with each other. More than one company working on a local SEO project can lead to errors and inconsistencies, and errors and inconsistencies lead to bad ranking. Number 8, don't put all your reviews in one basket. So Here is an example of 3 websites where you can go and have people write reviews for you. We have handouts for these as well that we can give to you. But on these sites, I know for at least City Search and Insider pages, they don't need a login. They can log in with their Facebook account. Makes it very easy for them to get it. They just need to get onto your listing, log in, and write your review. The reason why we mention this is Google will actually start showing links to reviews from other sites. So when someone's researching you and they go into your listing, they can see that you have reviews on other sites, and they can click on those. And we've actually been noticing that there has been some good ranking activity for those who have ranked or have reviews on other sites as well. So again, when you're having someone write a review on your Google page, absolutely, that's the #1 priority. That's going to be the most effective for you. But don't forget about other sites, because Google does pull some of these reviews from other sites and will help bring more reviews from people so that they can justify their wanting to work with you. Number 9, open communication. So yes, it is our job to worry about your online marketing. So we have to do that. We are doing that for you. However, again, I mentioned in the purpose of this webinar is there's that 10% that we just can't do. So if you ever feel like there's something more that can be done, or there's something different you'd like added, please feel free to contact us. I mean, our goal is to make sure that every one of our agents is ranking in that map section for their local keywords, and some of these factors will actually go a long way in helping that. But we want to hear from you. If we're ever falling short or you think something could be changed, definitely let us know. Even if you think it's small, we want to hear from you. Now, I've saved this one for the end. It's the most important aspect for online ranking, and it's been one of the most frustrating aspects, I would say, for insurance agents especially. This is known in our industry as NAP. As you can see there, it stands for name, address, phone number. Now, this acronym here is actually one of the most important ranking factors. Inconsistent SEO issues actually prevent a business from ranking in those map listings. Now, I'll give you an example here of how you can find out if you have incorrect listings. Generally, for, say, a State Farm agent or an Allstate agent, it's going to come from an agent who owned your office before. Both State Farm, Allstate, and Farmers do a great job in adding you guys to business directories. Part of our services is we add you to business directories as well. We do it in a uniform way, and we do it to match your listing on Google. When Google looks at ranking the businesses in the maps section, what they look at is the information they have in your listing with them, and they go to all the other information they found about you at that particular address and at that phone number, and in those citations we've done for you, to quantify that information, because Google only wants to display the correct information for the users. So if you have ever had another agent own your office, chances are you have incorrect business citations out there. Now, the way you would do this, the way you would search for this former owner, and it's very easy to find these. If the former owner is John Smith and your address is 123 New Street in New York, New York, you would simply Google that. John Smith, 123 New Street, New York, New York. Now look between the first 4 to 5 pages. Normally you'll find between 20 to 50 incorrect citations. Now what these incorrect citations lead to is they actually lead to Google questioning your business listing accuracy. So when they see all this information for Chris Walker at 123 New Street, and that matches the Google map listing, that's great. That's going to help your ranking. But then they have all this other information out there for John Smith at 123 New Street. Well, now you've created a question in Google's mind. Now Google doesn't know necessarily whether your business information is correct, and it often leads to that business map or that map listing not being able to rank because Google can't justify that. So a lot of times State Farm and Allstate are very, very good at adding you guys to directories without, even if you're not working with a company like Imprezzio, they'll add you to a couple business directories. The problem is they don't do anything to help you after you purchase that agency. So I've come in and purchased the agency from John Smith. Nobody's let me know that there are a whole bunch of incorrect business citations out there about John Smith. So if a former agent has owned your office, go on there, search the agent's name, then put in the address and the city and the state. That will usually bring up all the incorrect information relating to John Smith at 123 New Street. You can also include the phone number and see how much information has about the address and the phone number. They usually go hand in hand. So again, if you find these incorrect listings, you can go on and fix them yourself. It's not impossible. It's just time consuming. So it is very time consuming if you're not familiar with making these corrections. We can do it for you. It's a separate charge. It is known as our NAP product. We charge for the amount of listings we need to fix, so we will get a quote for you, letting you know exactly how many we found. And when we fix those for you, we'll let you know the directories we fixed for you. Our goal is to edit the information. We can edit it to start showing your name. Then great, we can do that. You've gained a citation from that. If not, we'll simply have that information deleted and go ahead and go on to that site and re-add you if you haven't been added to that site. But again, this is very, very important. So if you've been wondering, I'm not ranking very well in the maps, maybe we've sent you your score, you're only ranking in 2 or 3 of your keywords, chances are you may have an NAP issue. You can go on and do that search. If you find that you do, if you want to fix them yourselves, by all means you can. But if you'd rather us do it for you, you don't have the time, it does take quite a bit of time if you're not familiar with it, please don't hesitate to give us a call and let us know. We'll get a quote for you on exactly how much we find. And that is the end. So what I'm going to do here is move over to this chat. If somebody has a question, they can either type it in the chat or let me know I have a question, at which point I will unmute their microphone and you can ask it to the entire group. I'm just waiting here to see if we have any. Well, I'm waiting to see if anybody has any questions. As I mentioned before, for all of you that would like, feel free to go ahead and we'll send you a link after this. You can go on to YouTube and watch a recording of this as we are recording this webinar. We have a question here from Linda. Okay, what is Allstate does this for me too, but I want to keep you? Well, absolutely. What Allstate does for the agents, and my understanding of what they do for you guys, is they add you to different business directories and they do citations, as well as they also will do some paid ads on Google for Allstate as a whole. So although they will be doing those directory submissions for you, I go back to my earlier point of one cook in the kitchen. You're much better off having us do these citations for you. Not only do we do better citations, but we also are very keen on making sure our citations go well with local SEO. So if your business name is Linda Darnell Allstate and Allstate Insurance in your Google Maps listing, and Allstate is doing a whole bunch of citations for you, Allstate Insurance Darnell Agency, for instance, this is an example of these problems. So what we do ask is that if you have any citations or anything like that being done by your company, we ask that you opt out of those situations because that you're going to lead yourself to possible problems in the future with incorrect business citations, which will hurt your ranking. Okay. Okay, so I don't see any more questions there. So again, if anything you heard on here, if you would like any of the forms that we've mentioned, or you would like any of the handouts, or anything on there, if you've not received them from us, we ask that you let us know. We'll get them over to you. You can send them to your contact here, whether it be your marketing consultant in sales or your customer service rep. Again, if you're not familiar, you can email our support department, or you can simply email myself, and I'd be happy to help you. My email address is Chris W, so CHRISW, @imprezziomarketing.com. So I want to thank you all very much for joining our presentation here today, and thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.